Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Yellowstone Season 5 Episodes 13 Recap, 7 Biggest Moments and Reveals. Only one episode of Yellowstone remains after Season 5, Episode 13, Give the World Away, and based on the events, or lack thereof, in the penultimate hour, the show's last episode has a lot of ground to cover. The Paramount Network neo-Western drama focuses on the Dutton family. In the second part of Yellowstone's final season, the Duttons are at the lowest they have ever been. Their patriarch, John Dutton IE, is dead. They may lose the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch, and one of their ranch hands, Colby Mayfield, was killed in Episode 12. Unfortunately, Episode 13 didn't solve the family's problems. The Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 characters, aside from Jamie, fight like hell to save the ranch and give the world away. They attempt to raise enough money to pay off their taxes. However, it is never going to be enough because they need more cash than anyone could ever dream of to retain their land forever, or at least for many years to come. There is a glimmer of hope at the end of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, though, thanks to Kayce and his mysterious plan. After threatening Grant at the end of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12, Kayce moves on to his next concern in Episode 13, saving the ranch. He makes sure his family is taken care of and safe in Counting Coop, and then, potentially, figures out a way to protect his family's land and give the world away. Unfortunately, Luke Grimes' character doesn't give his whole plan away by the end of the hour. However, Kayce does tease his idea while talking with his sister, who almost immediately catches on to his plan to save their home. Kayce asks Beth a hypothetical question. If she were to sell her $300,000 car to him for only $1, and he registered it, would the sales tax be based on what he paid or the car's value? Beth is a little confused, but she tells him it will be what he paid for it. Kayce smiles because he gets the answer he is looking for. He hops in his car and starts to drive away. Meanwhile, Beth slowly but surely begins to understand what Kayce is implying. She makes her brother stop the car and asks him who. Kayce tells her to give him a day to make sure. Beth kisses her brother on the cheek and thanks him, and the Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 episode ends with Kayce telling Monica that they need to give the ranch away. It seems as though Kayce has found someone willing to buy the Yellowstone for very little money, perhaps Chief Thomas Rainwater. Consequently, the property's taxes would decrease significantly, and the Duttons wouldn't be in nearly as much debt as they are now. Before Jamie teases his plan to Beth in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, she hosts an auction at the ranch. She spends half the episode in Texas ensuring that Travis makes good on his promise to sell the Yellowstone's show horses at top value. Although Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone character is a bit reckless and a partier, he's an excellent negotiator. So Beth brings him back to Montana, where the big auction takes place. Beth, Rip, and Kayce need as much money as they can get if they even want a chance to save their family's property. As a result, they sell pretty much everything they have except for the land itself. Horses, cattle, and more go in the auction. By the end of Give the World Away, the Duttons are left with a little over $30 million, which buys them only a year. Thankfully, Kayce has a plan that ensures the Yellowstone stays in their possession in the neo-Western drama's penultimate episode. Similar to past episodes, Jamie doesn't get much screen time in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13. However, his few scenes are rather important regarding what comes next for Wes Bentley's character. Towards the beginning of the hour, Detective Dillard and his team march into the Market Equities building with a warrant to search the premises, including Sarah's office. The police are getting closer to learning the truth, which is making Jamie anxious. Plus, it doesn't help that the news is leaking Jamie's affair with Sarah and evidence proving he would benefit from the Yellowstone development plan. So he goes to Christina for help. Jamie tells the mother of his child the truth. He wasn't directly involved in the assassination of John Dutton in Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2, but he was aware of Sarah's involvement. Christina advises Jamie to call a press conference. He needs to launch an investigation into John and Sarah's deaths in Yellowstone Season 5. Jamie must also clarify that he worked closely with Sarah to restore the development, deny the affair, threaten those who insinuated it, and praise his father. Jamie thanks Christina for her advice and leaves with a new mission, which will have to wait until the final. Upon returning home from his adventure at the end of Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12, Kayce explains to Monica that he made sure that, if they were to leave the Yellowstone, no one would be following them. Eka Grant. Monica asks him if they are actually walking away, and Kayce discloses that he has been trying to leave his whole life. Later, Kayce is dancing with Monica at the ranch's party and says that they need to make as many memories as they can before leaving. So, it seems as if Kayce is determined to step away from his responsibilities at the Yellowstone. But first, he is going to make sure that his sister and brother-in-law don't lose the land. Perhaps Kayce's story is coming full circle, just in time for the Yellowstone series final. Teeter is completely heartbroken after Colby's death in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 12. Just after she tells him she loves him, he is gone, and Teeter doesn't know how to fix the hole in her heart. The other ranch hands attempt to console Teeter but are unsuccessful. As Beth explains, the men are trying to fix Teeter's problem, but hers is one that can't be repaired. She just needs someone to listen, and Beth is there for her and give the world away. Beth brings Teeter to a fancy bar full of tourists and transplants, all of whom Beth cannot stand. She goes there when she's upset, and she believes it will help Teeter. They tear apart any man who hits on them at the bar, which sort of makes Teeter feel better. However, as Beth said, Teeter's problem can't be fixed, and this grief will live with her for the rest of her life. After the auction, most of the ranch hands plan on leaving the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch in Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2. There's little to no work for them there anymore, and Rip encourages them all to find other work, except for Lloyd. Rip tells Lloyd that he wants him to be around to help build the ranch back to its former glory. Lloyd's home has been the Yellowstone for 43 years, so accepting Rip's offer is probably the easiest decision he has ever made. Meanwhile, everyone else but Carter is planning on looking for other jobs after the auction in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13. Carter is just a kid, and the Duttons are his family. It just makes sense that Carter would stay at the ranch, along with Lloyd. Perhaps Beth and Rip will finally adopt Carter, although they have many other concerns to address in the final. The Duttons get John's body back from the medical examiner's office in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13. Beth, who is still quite heartbroken over her father's death, insists that they hold a funeral for him. However, she doesn't want it to be a big flashy affair full of people the family doesn't know. Instead, Beth wants an intimate ceremony, which will likely take place in Episode 14. In the meantime, though, the ranch honors John and Colby ahead of the auction. In the penultimate episode of Yellowstone Season 5, titled Give the World Away, the Dutton family confronts escalating challenges that threaten their legacy. This episode is rich with pivotal moments that set the stage for the series' climax. Here are 7 of the most significant developments. 1. Beth's strategic maneuvers in Texas. Beth Dutton, Kelly Rayleigh, travels to Texas to oversee the sale of the ranch's valuable show horses, aiming to alleviate the family's financial burdens. She encounters Travis Wheatley, played by series creator Taylor Sheridan, who is initially found indulging in a carefree lifestyle, including a strip poker game with his girlfriend, Sadie, portrayed by Bella Hadid. Despite her initial frustration, Beth recognizes Travis's prowess in horse trading.